So I'm going to teach you how to make computers run like this.
Oh, faire du Razmod de Bengale, qui n'a jamais rêvé ça. En X-Wing. Il nous suit.
Léo, tu prends pas trop cher hein.
Ça va, 20% encore bouclier, 19, putain. Je suis dessus.
Oh la vache! Oh l'explosion!
On appelle ça un dragon de bagarre.
Oh c'est insane!
And not this.
Wow, it's just like real life, man. What the?
So to teach you how to build computers, I got this game on Steam called PC Building Simulator. It's like 20 bucks. It's pretty useful for actually telling you or teaching you how to build computers and whatnot. So here, I'm just gonna go to free build and try a new game to show you guys how to build a computer. It's gonna be not the most accurate thing because it's a simulation, but it still teaches you a pretty decent amount. So here, we're gonna start on this case. This is like a very basic case. A lot of people use this case for building computers just because it looks nice. It's not too expensive, and it just works well as a lot of space for everything and whatnot. So first thing we want to do is take off the side panel, take that out, and then what we want to do is install the motherboard. Put that there. But before we do that, we have to install the standoff screws, which are just like screws that screw into the motherboard, and then you can screw other screws into the standoff screws to put the motherboard in there. You can see they come out a little bit. And normally you normally wouldn't immediately put the motherboard in. Normally you put the RAM, the CPU, and the CPU cooler on the motherboard first, and then you screw it in. But for the game, they just do it like this. So after we finish that, oh, there's one more. Sorry. Yeah, after that, what we want to do is we want to put in the CPU. I'm just gonna choose a random one. Put that, and then we have to unlatch the latch. For AMDs, it's really simple. You just unlatch the latch. You put the CPU in there. And you close the latch. With the Intel, it's a little bit more. It's not hard per se. But it has like a little hook latch thing that you have to put in. Well, anyway, next we're gonna put thermal paste, which is helps conduct the heat from the CPU cooler, which we're gonna put next from the CPU. Put that in place. Then what we want to do is we want to put in the RAM. So normally on cases or on motherboards, they only have like certain slots are like the best ones. So you'll have to look at your motherboard's guide for that. But for our purpose, we're gonna be using all 4 slots. So it doesn't really matter. And then next we are going to install the power supply. So what we want to do is we want to remove the side panel or the back panel, whatever you like to call it, like so. And then we want to remove the PSU mount. But yeah, normally you see the pricing here. Normally it's like a lot cheaper, or not a lot cheaper, but the price distribution is usually a lot different because no one spends like $800 on RAM and then like nothing on the rest of the parts. And so yeah, we're just gonna choose like a 650 watt. If you don't know like parts or anything like that, or like what parts goes where and what power supply you should get, you can use a website called PC Parts Picker, which is like the holy grail for newbies starting out. It's like really useful for knowing what parts are compatible and whatnot. Anyway, we're just gonna screw this in. The PSU mount back in place. And then next we're gonna put in storage. So you can put in there's like hard drives, there's M.2 SSDs, which are like on a specific port on your motherboard. And then there's like the standard SSD. We're just gonna use a standard SSD because it's the simplest. So I'm just gonna do this. Install that into one of the SSD drive bays. And then we're gonna install the graphics card. Put like one of these. Oh yeah, before we install the graphics card, we first have to remove the GPU shrouds. Or those. And then put that in place, screw it in. The GPU is usually the most expensive part of the PC. then what we want to do is put in the PCIe lock. Screw it in. Okay, so now we got all the basic things done. You could add fans, but this is just like a demonstration, so I'm not adding any of them. But you can put like fans here, 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 here. It just depends on the case, really. You can like remove the front panel, put fans there, but yeah, it just depends on the case. It's different, varying on your computer. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the cables. So first, we want to do is connect the cooler to the motherboard like that. The motherboard to the power supply. The 24-pin connector to the power supply. The 2 GPU plugs into the power supply. As you can see, I'm like plugging into the back over here, like that. The case to the motherboard. The SSD to the power supply. The SSD to the motherboard. And that should be everything for internal components plugged in. So what we want to do now is that we want to put on the case, like the front panel, sorry about that, and then the side panel, the back side panel, whatever. Alright, so now that should be everything all set. Now we just need to cable up this. So we want to plug in the mouse, the GPU, the power, and the keyboard. And then when you're first starting building a computer, you'll need to download the operating system, like Windows or whatever, onto a USB drive, and then you just put it in there, and then you start up the PC. Oh, well, let me turn that on. There. Now, normally you have to go through the BIOS to install it, but the simulation just automatically boots up for you. And you can do other things here, like tweaking like the GPU and doing lighting for like certain fans, so you can like have it like sync with music and stuff, cool stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically how you build a computer. So yeah.